This is the San Francisco Marathon Finisher Medal of the year 2023. This is the guy who owns this medal. That's me, by the way. This is proof that I did it. And this is how running a marathon changed my life and why you should run the marathon too. Now at the very end, I'm going to share with you my biggest takeaway from the whole marathon thing, so stay tuned till the end. The thought of running a marathon can be very intimidating. I know that for a fact because I spent most of my life thinking that running a marathon is only for the extremely elite athletes and that running 42 kilometers is only possible for me if I run 1 kilometer each day for 42 days. But it's great to overcome your fears. That's why I did it, and that's why you should run a marathon too. Jokes aside, why did I run the marathon? For as long as I can remember, I was a very active kid. I was playing soccer for over 12 years. I was riding my bike everywhere I went. I spent a lot of time outdoors. I made the gym my favorite place to be at as I got older. And I even had a fairly challenging, physically challenging job as an adult. As I got older and my mindset evolved and I got introduced to David Goggins doing David Goggins things.
They don't know me, son!
This is not a joke. I really do think that a lot of my physical evolution is due to the fact that I had this superhuman entity just screaming at me to get off my ass for way too long.
Bruce, one more to carry the boats.
So if you don't know him, go check him out and tell him I sent you. I also got introduced to the idea of running for way longer than I ever imagined possible. Now, I didn't quite like the idea of running 100 miles straight and watching my body die, literally, while doing so. But what did fascinate me was the idea of pushing my body and my mind into realms I never even thought of entering. And since I never ran more than 10 kilometers in one run, simply because I didn't enjoy running, I thought it would be a great challenge for me to go for the full marathon of just over 42 kilometers. I was 23 at the time, and I thought to myself, you know, if there are people in their 60s and 70s doing it, there's gotta be a way for me to do it at my age and my fitness level. So I set myself a goal of running a marathon before I ended my 3-month trip to the US that I did this summer. And as you've seen in the beginning, I managed to do exactly that. But why should you run a marathon? Now, if you are anything like me and you're the slightest bit into sports and into self-development and into pushing your body and your mind to new levels you never even know existed, then running a marathon is exactly the challenge you need. Let me explain why. You know how they say that if your dreams don't intimidate you, they are just way too small? Let me tell you, that marathon scared the living shit out of me. I had no idea how I was going to survive it, and I bet 90% of you feel exactly the same. But that is where the beauty lies. Because trust me when I say this, your body can take way more physical stress than you think. In fact, if your fitness is at a fairly decent level, I am almost 99% certain that you can run a marathon right now without that much preparation, if you put your mind and put your head to it that it's possible and that you truly believe that you can do it. And trust me, you can do it because there's people doing it every day and they're in way worse shape than you. I know I'm saying this as if I know what shape you're in. Obviously I don't, but I believe in you. You got this. Now, what finishing the marathon does to you or for you is just as simple as it is magnificent. It opens the door to a whole new level of thinking. It makes you realize that everything you thought was too big is just in your head. Everything you ever thought you couldn't do because it was too big or too daunting of a task is just that way because you made it that way inside your head. But now you learn that if you commit to doing something, even though you don't know how you're going to do it yet, you're going to experience a whole new level of personal development that you've never experienced before. Finishing the marathon despite my crappy preparation, and by crappy preparation I mean I had 3 runs in the whole 6 weeks before the marathon, and only one of those 3 runs was over 10 kilometers, so it's pretty safe to say that I had little to no preparation. But that made me set the goal for my next marathon, the Miami Marathon in 2024, to run that one in under 3 hours and 30 minutes. Because I thought to myself, imagine what I can do if only I prepare well enough for the next event. And it is that imagine what else I can do mentality that is truly amazing and will improve your life quality by a ton. But that mentality only comes from achieving things and doing stuff that you thought was way too big for you, and then proving yourself and your self-doubt and all the negative talk inside your head wrong by doing exactly that, what you thought was way too big for you. So if you truly want to grow as a person and want to see what you're made of, I can highly recommend this physical or more so mental challenge for you. Now, if you don't want to grow as a person and you want to stay exactly the same as you've been the entirety of your life, I don't know what you're doing here, and you should have probably left the video about 10 minutes ago. That being said, I hope I could inspire you to take action and take the first step towards running your marathon, or just overcoming your fears and doing stuff that you thought was way too big for you. Now, if this video hyped you up about marathons just as much as it did me to just film this thing, but you're not quite sure where to start and how to go about it and what to do, then check out this video where I go in depth on my training plan, on my whole preparation for the Miami Marathon, and give you a recap of my second week of training that I did in order to prepare for the Miami Marathon. Also, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss out on future motivation and support on your journey to greatness. Now let's fucking go, mate. You got this. See ya.